When I was a kid, I would see the Animorphs book covers and be interested, because how could I not be? But I never picked one up because I was more of a Goosebumps kid. Now, though I never read the books, I kind of just assumed the story was about kids superheroes that can turn into animals and probably fight villains or something. I could not have been more wrong. Just look at this Wikipedia summary. Horror, war, imperialism, dehumanization, sanity, morality, innocence, leadership, freedom, family, and growing up are the core themes of the series. I'm sorry, what? Horror? War? Dehumanization? Well, I guess that one makes sense. So, it turns out Animorphs is a lot deeper than I thought it was. The Animorphs are a bunch of kids that cross paths with a shape-shifting alien named Axe, who gives them the power to turn into animals. Why does Axe give them Animorph powers? Well, as it turns out, there are evil mind-controlling brain slugs that have invaded Earth, and the Animorphs must stop them. So not only are these children given superpowers and enlisted into an alien army to save Earth, but they're also playing a citywide game of Among Us with their friends and families. Oh yeah, and one cool catch to the Animorphs thing, they have a 2-hour time limit to turn back into their human form, or they get stuck as an animal forever. What an interesting restriction. Surely the children will have to work around this issue. Ooh, that child is a bird forever now. Seriously, Tobias never fully becomes a human again, though that is his own choice. And all of that is genuinely just scratching the surface of the story. The lore runs hella deep, like Dune levels lore, dude. Why am I talking about Animorphs in a Transformers video? Oh, you sweet summer child. In 1999, Hasbro launched an Animorphs toy line featuring action figures of the children that can transform into animals. This sounds like standard fare, but Hasbro bizarrely advertised the line as Animorphs Transformers, with the logo and everything. So, in a way, this toy line is like a prototype version of the future crossover lines like Marvel and Star Wars. But let's just say there were some issues with the Animorphs toys. While the animal forms of these toys are all really solid, the human forms tend to be absolute abominations. Like Marco here, who has ultra hairy arms and legs and is built like a brick house. Like, I respect the attempt, but these human forms are absolutely hilariously bad. I especially like how they're wearing clothes, as if that's going to distract from the giant lion feet. And why is this guy dressed like Minecraft Steve? Each character has a human head as well as a mid-morph head, which is just a whole other can of worms. Besides the humans, there were also the aliens, Axe, and the villainous Visser 3. I actually think the aliens are the best figures in the line. Both have really pleasing colors, and the alt modes are both pretty interesting. There's a second version of Visser 3 that looks absolutely terrible though. I hate this thing's color scheme and how it looks. It's like an offensively ugly toy. While I think the aliens are the best toys in the series, the most fun toy has to be the Tri-Rex, a T-Rex transformer that is made up of 3 combined children. I know at some point in the books the kids go back in time and get dinosaur forms, but to my knowledge they never group digivolved into a T-Rex. While the T-Rex form is kind of amazing for 1999, the children that form the dinosaur are abominations, though I do like the one with super long arms. I just kind of like that character design. The Animorphs line was so poorly received that Hasbro canceled the line and moved some of the already designed Animorphs toys to the Beast Wars line as a final wave of toys. These last Animorphs figures were actually different though. Instead of an animal to child transformation, it was actually animal to animal. Arguably this is a much better idea for an Animorphs toy line, but ironically these toys were moved to Transformers Beast Wars where they actually made no sense. These toys were named the Mutants and featured characters like Poison Bite and Icebird? Icebird? Seriously? What a crappy name, especially considering his polar bear mode is way cooler than his owl mode. There's actually one named Soundwave that turns into a bat and alligator. Unfortunately, his toy suffers from gold plastic syndrome, an issue early toys face where gold plastic starts to crumble like Ironhide in Dark of the Moon. These freaks barely have lore and were assigned their own faction symbol. They didn't even want to associate these guys with Maximals or Predacons. Oh yeah, and they all have a weird robot head hidden on them, a remnant of when they were supposed to be Animorphs. The Animorphs toys are absolutely cursed, but I'm happy they exist, and are an odd footnote in Transformers history. Also, shout out to fellow YouTuber Animorphs Universe. This dude's whole channel is dedicated to Animorphs lore, toys, the show, and he even has written his own fan fiction. So if you're an Animorphs fan or want to get into it, his channel would be the place to go.